Who doesn't want to wear a crisp uniform, travel to new locations, and at the end of every month, take home a great salary? I don't know about you, but at the end of every flight, I just stare at the pilots pulling their luggage and getting into the bus with awe, because they have the dream job that most of us want. But the sad part is, most of us know how to become an engineer or how to become a doctor. But the information on how to become a pilot is not that well known, which is why flying a plane remains a dream for most of us. But that is something that we are going to change today. So in today's video, we're going to see what it really takes to be a pilot and what are the different streams available. Basic requirements that you're supposed to meet even before you can think of becoming a pilot in India. How to become a pilot and the cost associated with it. Salary that you can expect after becoming a pilot. But most importantly, towards the end, I'll give you a bonus tip. Becoming a pilot obviously has its perks, but every coin has two sides. A friend who's a captain in a reputed airline and whose name I cannot disclose said that before deciding to become a pilot, one should know about its pros and cons. And I'll tell you exactly what he told me, so that you make an informed decision about whether this is the right career choice for you or not. Look, I'm an engineer by profession, mostly because 9 years back, I had no idea what else to do. But today, thanks to the corporate world and proper networking, I get to learn and meet people with different professions, doing what they love. And I'm taking all of that wonderful information and creating these how to become videos, starting with how to become a pilot. Because I want you to have the shot at different professions that I never had. But before that, if you like what I'm doing, make sure you hit that like button, because that motivates me to make more videos. Let's begin. A pilot is someone who needs to have multiple skills. They need to be good at their maths, physics, need to have great communication skills. But more than that, they need to be emotionally stable, physically fit, and mentally sound. Because I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be in a plane 30,000 feet above ground with a pilot who panics at every situation. Now there are two different types of pilots. One who joined the Indian Air Force, and second are commercial pilots. Commercials are again divided into scheduled flights and non-scheduled flights. Scheduled flights are something that we normally take, like Indigo, Vistara, AirAsia, so on and so forth. Non-scheduled flights are air ambulances, charters, corporates. So today we are going to talk about how to become a commercial pilot, because joining the Indian Air Force comes with a different set of requirements. And if you want me to make a separate video about that, then comment below and let me know. Before you even think about education and training, to become a pilot in India, you first need to meet 7 basic criteria. Number 1, you need to be a citizen of India. Obviously, your age at the time of application should be between 18 to 35. It depends on the airline. Number 3, having glasses is not a problem, as long as you have a 6x6 vision, with or without glasses. But you cannot have color blindness, because you need to identify the navigation lights. Plus, the instruction and warnings in a flight desk are color coded, and each of them have a different meaning. Number 5, you need to pass class 12th with 55% at least in physics, maths and English individually. That's right, just class 12th. But having a maths background is essential. That does not mean that if you have a commerce or arts background, you cannot apply. In those cases, through the National Institute of Open School, people clear their maths and physics and then apply. Number 6, you need to be proficient in the English language, because English is the international language for civil aviation. And why do you need a common language? Simple reason, because you don't want to die. One of the reasons for aviation accidents is miscommunication. As a pilot, you should be able to give clear instructions to your crew members and also be able to follow instructions from the air traffic control. Because forget the number of international languages, there's so much of diversity in our country that if the air traffic controller can only speak Bengali and if the pilot can only understand Telugu, then all of us are. But learning English is not as difficult as everybody makes it. If you want to know how I learned to speak in English fluently, then check out this video. I've left the link in the description. Now the seventh and the final requirement of becoming a pilot is to have class 2 and class 1 medical certificates, which are basically a set of medical exams like ECG, blood tests, urine tests, so on and so forth, conducted to find out whether you're physically fit or not. These tests are to be conducted only by a set of selected doctors and are sent to the DGCA, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. Now, who are these doctors, where to find them, what are these tests? So all of this information can be found out at dgca.nic.in. I've left the link in the description. Now, after meeting the first 7 criteria, the next major thing that you need to go after is called CPL, Commercial Pilot License. There are 2 ways to get it. Method number 1 ka step number 1, apply to a flying school. A flying school is where they'll teach you theory, which includes subjects like system of plane, air navigation, aviation meteorology, plus practicals, which includes 200 flight hours. Needless to say, you need to pass both theory and practicals to get your CPL, that is Commercial Pilot License. Now, which school to apply to? You can either apply to flying schools in India or abroad. For India, make sure you check the list of flying schools on the DGCA's website. Some of the top flying schools of our country as of today are IGRUA, MPFC Indore, Bombay Flying Club. The duration of the course is between 18 months to 2 years. Some people also prefer applying to flying schools in USA, Europe, New Zealand, Canada, where you can complete the course between 6 months to 12 months. So it's your personal choice and depends on what you want to do. Step number 2. Now, after you get your CPL, the next thing to do is apply for a job. In airlines like Indigo, SpiceJet, Jet Airways, Go Air, just go to their website, search for jobs, CPL recruitment in particular, and apply. Once you get selected, these airlines will send you for another type of training called step number 3, type rating. See, CPL is where you learn how to fly a smaller plane, like a Cessna. But type rating is where you learn how to fly a bigger plane. For example, if it's Indigo, they would want you to learn how to fly an Airbus. And in case of Jet Airways or SpiceJet, they would want you to learn how to fly a Boeing. So method 1 has 3 steps. Step number 1, apply to a flying school and get your CPL. Step number 2, apply for a job and get selected. And finally, step number 3 is to get your type rating training, at the end of which you'll become a commercial pilot. Now, method number 2 is simpler than method number 1, but it is more expensive. Airlines like Indigo and Jet Airways have their own cadet pilot programs. All you have to do is clear their entrance exams and interviews, and they will give you a job contract. And they will make sure that you get your CPL and type rating training done. Now, how much will these 2 methods cost? Let's start with method number 1. A flying school will cost somewhere between 38 to 45 lakhs. And type rating training will cost around 15 to 20 lakhs. So overall, method number 1 will take around 60 to 80 lakhs. Coming to method number 2, the whole package will cost around 1 crore. Some people prefer method number 2 because here you first get a job and then you get trained. But in method number 1, you first get trained and then might have to wait some time before you get a job. Plus, in method number 1, after you get a job, some airlines might want you to do their internal trainings and pay for that. So you might have to shell out some more money. I know the fees is a lot, but unfortunately, there isn't much scholarship available. But if you cannot afford it, but still want to fly a plane and serve our country, then you can always join the Indian Air Force. If you want me to make a separate video about how to do that, then comment below and let me know. As a fresher, you can apply to companies like Indigo, Jet Airways, SpiceJet, Go Air, AirAsia, etc. When you join as a junior first officer, you will get a stipend of around 25,000 per month. Some companies also pay 70, some pay a lakh, some don't pay at all. But once you get promoted to a first officer, you can draw somewhere around 2 lakhs per month. As a captain, you can get somewhere around 6 lakhs per month. But once you become a check pilot, you can draw somewhere between 7.5 to 12 lakhs per month. Now, apart from the course fees and the salary, there are a few other things that you should know before you decide whether you want to be a pilot or not. But before that, if you like what I'm doing, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon, because I make videos every week that will help you choose the right profession or even discover an alternate career. Now, before you decide whether you want to be a pilot, you should know what are the cons. I know of two. Number one, being a pilot is extremely stressful because whenever you are in the cockpit, not only are you responsible for your life, but for the life of hundreds of other people traveling with you. And needless to say, it is a risky job. And number two, all that travel might sound great when you are a bachelor, but once you have a family, you will crave to spend more time with them on ground rather than being in air. But hey, there is nothing that you can't manage, right? So if you think you can balance that out, then go for it, because for you, sky is literally the limit. Plus, how many people can really boast about having an office location that is 30,000 feet above ground? On that note, I promise to see you again next week. Until then, keep fighting the urban fight to be fit.